Tonight we have another encounter with Jesus. Jesus healed the sick, but he also forgave sinners. And in one case, of course, he first healed the paralytic, and first forgave his sins, and then only healed him. And of course, one of the most wonderful moments of forgiveness that Jesus did is pictured there, when he was on the cross. And this man who had led a criminal life, who admitted that he was dying justly for his crimes, he turned to Jesus and said, Lord, he defended Jesus first of all and said, this man has done nothing wrong. We deserve what has happened to us. And then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus forgave him and said, this day you will be with me in paradise. One of the blessings of being a priest, and particularly in our ministry where we do so much as Redemptorists, so much of this sacrament of reconciliation, there's a lot of joy in being able to lift the burden of sin from people, sometimes a very heavy burden indeed. But we're not able to talk about any confessions that came to us. There is the seal of confession, a sacred promise that we make, that we will never reveal anybody's sin. So I can't talk about the many thousands and thousands of confessions that I've heard. But I can tell you this story because this was told by the man involved himself, and it wasn't to me, it was to another priest. So it begins in King's Cross. This man, as a young man, just a young teenager, who was only about 13, when he ran away from home in Cessnock, in the Hunter Valley, New South Wales, went to King's Cross, which at that time was a pretty notorious part of Sydney, full of houses of prostitution, drug taking, all kinds of abuses went on there. So young Paul got involved in everything wrong. Drinking, alcohol, drugs, he became a pimp for the prostitutes. He was in jail several times, and all this time his parents were so upset and praying for him. They only had 2 children, Paul and one other son. The father died with a broken heart. The mother continued to pray for years. And after many years, it was after about 15 years, similar to what happened to St. Augustine. This happened in Paul's life, and I heard him tell this story more than once because he came on youth retreats and shared this story. He was one day, he was drugged, he'd taken drugs, so he was a bit stupid. He was robbed. Everything he had was taken. He was sitting in the gutter in the street in Sydney and thinking of committing suicide. Looking at the cars going past and thinking if any of them are going fast enough, I'll go in front and get myself killed. But as he looked across the street, he saw an open church. It was the Blessed Sacrament Church. And he felt this strong feeling that he should go in there. So he dragged himself across the road, he went into the church. And as he looked around, it was almost empty, but there was a priest sitting in a confessional, and the door was open. He was waiting. Again, this strong sense came into him, no doubt through the prayers of his mother, and he felt the great urge to go in there. Well, he had a whole life of 15 years of every kind of evil and sin. But the priest was very kind to him and took him gradually through things and helped him to make a complete confession. And then, of course, he pronounced the words of absolution. I absolve you from your sins in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He said he had tears of joy. And this priest, this Blessed Sacrament Father, not only forgave him, but he actually gave him the fare to get back to Cessnock, where his parents were, where his mother was still waiting for him after all these years. There he joined a prayer group. He came on several retreats that I was giving in Newcastle. He did a course in drug and alcohol rehabilitation, and so he was able to help many other young people. And he became a very prayerful and good man. Because of all the damage he'd done to his body, he died at the age of about 48, and I was blessed to be able to be with him just before he died and give him the sacraments. But everything happened because of this sacrament of reconciliation. His whole life was blessed and changed because of that. He experienced, as we experience in that sacrament, not just a human person, but it is Jesus himself pouring out his mercy. In the Old Testament, some of the greatest figures also committed great sin. We have the story of David and Nathan. David was one day walking, he was the king of course, and he was walking on the balcony of his palace. And as he looked down, he saw a beautiful woman bathing. And he didn't look away. He continued to feast his eyes on this sight, and his passions were aroused. And he called for this woman to be brought to him. He asked who she was. She was the wife of Uriah. And Uriah was with David's army, fighting against the enemies of David. And then David, of course, committed sin with her, and then found she was pregnant. And so then he tried to get Uriah to come and get drunk and to go down to his wife. But Uriah wouldn't do that because it was forbidden to the soldiers. So then he had him killed. He had him put in the front line where he would be killed, and asked the general of the army to withdraw the troops and to leave him there to be killed. So David was responsible for both adultery and murder, very serious sins. And then we have the picture there. Nathan the prophet was sent by God, and he told him that story, the parable. In the same town there were two men, one rich, the other poor. The rich man had flocks and herds in great abundance. The poor man had nothing but a ewe lamb, only a single little one. He fostered it, and it grew up with him and his children, sleeping in his arms. It was like a daughter to him. But when a traveller came to stay, the rich man would not take anything from his own flock or herd to provide for the wayfarer. Instead, he stole the poor man's lamb and prepared that for his guest. And David flew into a great rage and said, "The man who did this deserves to die." And Nathan said, "You are the man. God anointed you king, gave you many wives, gave you many riches, and you have shown contempt for the Lord. You put Uriah the Hittite to the sword. You took his wife. For this and then David, of course, then was repentant. He said, "I have sinned against the Lord." And Nathan said, "The Lord, for his part, forgives your sin." So even though David was so blessed by God, because he repented, he was forgiven. And the same thing is for us. No matter how great the sin that we might have committed, we are always able to be forgiven. We have the example of St. Peter, of course. St. Peter, who, when the servant girl told you, threatened and said, "You are one of them. You are a follower of Jesus." 3 occasions he denied that he knew Jesus. He lied, he denied Jesus out of cowardice, and even cursed and swore using his fisherman's language to deny that he knew the man. But then Jesus looked on Peter, and Peter wept bitterly. He was truly sorry for what he had done. And so Jesus forgave him and said to him 3 times, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" The 2nd time, "Do you love me?" The 3rd time, "Do you love me?" And Peter was hurt that he said 3 times. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." And Jesus put him in charge of his church. So that's what Jesus says to us. When we confess our sins to him, he says, "Do you love me?" That's what he wants. "Do you love me?" And he will forgive everything. And he'll restore us to what he really wanted for us. But Francis then, who has been talking much about the sacrament and about God's mercy, he said, hearing the word mercy, this word changes everything. It's the best word we can hear. It changes the world. A little mercy makes the world less cold and more just. We need to rightly understand this mercy of God, this merciful Father who has a lot of patience. Not only these stories about Nathan and David, about Peter, but we know the story of the prodigal son, who squandered everything, who went far away, and yet the Father forever waited for him to embrace him and to welcome him back. But Francis continues, let us remember the prophet Isaiah, who says that even if our sins are bright red, God's mercy can make them white as snow. Mercy is beautiful. So there are 4 things we need to do for this sacrament of penance. The first one is to admit. We have to admit our sins. We have to confess, just as David did, just as Peter did, just as the thief on the cross did. They admitted their sinfulness. So we cannot be like the story that Jesus, the parable that Jesus told of the Pharisee and the tax collector. In that particular parable, Jesus said, 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee, the other tax collector. The Pharisee stood there and said this in prayer to himself, I thank you, God, that I'm not grasping, unjust, adulterous, and particularly I'm not like this tax collector here. I fast twice a week. I pay tithes and all I get. The tax collector stood some distance away, not daring even to raise his eyes to heaven. But he beat his breast and said, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. This man, I tell you, went home justified. The other did not. For everyone who raises himself up will be humbled, but anyone who humbles himself will be raised up. So the first thing is we admit our sins. Sometimes that's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit embarrassing, but it's good for us. Pope John Paul II calls us to, we may think that we are doing, we could be tempted to be like the Pharisees and think, look, I go to Mass every Sunday, I give my donations to the church, I'm good to the charities and so on, I'm in Vincent de Paul Society, but we are called to holiness. The time has come to repropose to everyone this high standard of ordinary Christian living. It would be a contradiction to settle for a life of mediocrity marked by a minimalist ethic and a shallow religiosity. And Pope Francis, in this letter that he has just written, the one that we have for sale there, he also encourages us. This letter is telling us that we are all called to be holy. And so he says that it's everybody is in court. We should not grow discouraged before examples of holiness that appear unattainable. Some of the saints, with the heroic things they did, we could think, I could never be like that. But he says, some things we are not meant to copy, for that would even lead us astray from the path that the Lord has in mind for us. The important thing is that each believer discern his or her own path, that they bring out the very best of themselves, the most personal gifts that God has placed in their hearts, rather than hopelessly trying to imitate something not meant for them. The second thing, so the first thing is to admit that we are sinners, admit we haven't lived up to our full potential, to everything that God wanted us to be. And the second thing then is sorrow. We need to have sorrow for our sins. And the thing that can most inspire sorrow in us is to think of what Jesus suffered for our sins. And Isaiah said he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Jesus there in the garden, he felt the weight of every sin of the whole human race. He felt how daunting and how fearful it was to have to expiate and suffer for these sins, and called out to his Father, if it's possible, take this suffering away from me. But not my will, but yours be done. In his love for us, he paid the penalty for all our sins. So we have to be truly sorry for them. And so it's good for us to think of what he suffered, the scourging that he suffered, the crowning with thorns, the scourging because of all our sins of the flesh, the crowning of thorns because of our pride. So all of these things, the Passion reveals to us the horror of sin. And then the next thing, of course, is there will be a penance given to us. Because every sin requires atonement, either in this life, through prayer, works of mercy, or penance, or otherwise in the next life. Hopefully, none of us will have to atone for our sins in the eternal suffering of hell. But according to Pope Benedict, the majority of us, that's his opinion, in his letter on hope, Spe Salvi, he said, we may suppose that for the majority of the human race, they are neither so set in sin, so extremely resistant to God's grace as to go to hell, nor so full of love, because any kind of lack of love, any pride and selfishness and so on, needs to be still purified. So the opinion of Pope Benedict, he didn't make, it's not a teaching of the Church, but it's his opinion that the majority of us will have to eventually atone for our sins in purgatory. But we can do it now. And then the last, the fourth one is that we amend our lives. We have there the example in the Scriptures of Jesus and the woman who was caught in adultery. and they wanted to stone her. They were going to stone her to death. But Jesus started to bend down and write on the ground, and then he said, let the one who is without sin cast the first stone. And one by one they went away, beginning with the eldest. And then he turned to the woman and said, has nobody condemned you? She said, no one has, Lord. He said, I don't condemn you either. He forgave her. But then he said, go and sin no more. So we have that intention and that desire. Of course we are weak. We can't guarantee that we will never sin again. But we have the intention and the desire to avoid sin and to do as best we can with the grace of God. Of ourselves, as St. Paul says, I can do nothing, but I can do all things in Him who strengthens me. Of grace to strengthen us in our battle against sin and against our human weakness. So we turn again to our Blessed Mother, our perpetual help. We ask her to help us to come to her Son today, to see not the human person of the priest, but to see Jesus there, to see His merciful love, welcoming us, wanting to wash away all our sins. For when He forgives our sins, He not only washes them away, He forgets them. He gives us a new start, He gives us a new strength and a new grace. So through the prayers of the Blessed Mother, may all of us during these days of the mission, and especially tonight where we have 4 of us to hear confessions, may we receive that love and mercy of Christ. Amen.